Anatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Sorry, one second. Sorry, the double sound was coming here. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashtaye Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we welcome you all for today's morning reading. I would just need a quick second to set it up things. We're supposed to begin from the 7th chapter, right? So today we'll be starting with the 7th chapter, titled as Knowledge of the Absolute. Very, very beautiful discussion. Very beautiful chapter actually. Shri Bhagavan Maya Sakta Mana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gnyasyasi Tashrunu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga and full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full and free from doubt. Purport. So it's a big purport, beautiful purport. I'll give you a little gist of it, and then we can read it out. So here, in essence, Lord Shri Krishna is saying, in the previous chapter, while concluding the 6th chapter, Krishna says, Shraddhavan bhajate yamam, who serves me with faith. How does the faith develop? Krishna is speaking about that in this chapter and in this verse. So, Mai asakta manha parsa. Asakta means attachment. Manha partha. Asakta manha. Your mind being attached to Mai, unto me, O son of Partha or Pratha. Yogam yunjan madashaya. Yogam means yoga. Yunjan means practicing yoga. Madashaya, taking my shelter or in my consciousness. Asamshayam, without a doubt. Samagram, samagram mam. Samagram means complete, in completeness. Yatha gnasasi tashrunu. How you can do this so that your mind can become attached to me, you can practice yoga in full consciousness of me. How you can do that? Please hear from me. That's the subject matter here. In other words, how to know Krishna in completeness, how to practice Bhakti Yoga in completeness, and how to make our mind absorbed in Krishna consciousness. We can know that by hearing. And that is the subject matter. So the subject matter of this purport that Prabhupada is going to focus on, the absolute can be understood by hearing through Shabda Praman, not Pratyaksha Anuman Praman, because Pratyaksha Anuman Praman depends largely on our mental faculty and on the sense perception. Whereas Shabda Praman is about we are receiving the knowledge about the absolute from the self-class personalities. So of course, at the end of the day, we're going to absorb it through our mind only, but because it's a spiritual sound vibration, it will have its own purifying effect. By hearing from bona fide authorities, we still will not be able to comprehend it fully, no doubt about it, because ultimately we are absorbing through our mind. But because it is a spiritual sound vibration coming from the pure source, that also would purify our mind and consciousness. That's how we become qualified gradually after regularly hearing from bona fide sources. That's the gist of it. Let's take a look at the purport. In this 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulence is described herein. Also, 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna, 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, okay, there's a summary mentioned. Please read out the summary. Second paragraph. Krishna Chandrabu, please read the second paragraph.
Can you hear, Prabhu?
Yes.
In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the living entities has been described as non-material spirit soul, capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yoga. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahmajyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge of Krishna is Krishna, and everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is ultimate knowledge beyond any doubt. Different types of yoga are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahmajyoti and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, and their manifestations with paraphernalia.
Hare Krishna. So, this is what this chapter is going to talk about, and this is how we understand. Going through the next 2 paragraphs and the verses, we come to the last paragraph, where the summary of this series of verses is given. So to hear about Krishna from Vedic literature or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as best wishing friend, purifies the devotees who constantly engages in hearing of him. As I was saying, the hearing process itself from the bona fide sources, it's purifying itself, and that's how we become qualified. That's how our consciousness, that's how our mind and senses become spiritualized. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in devotion service of the Lord. By development of devotion service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobha dayasaye chetaitananavidam stam satve prasidati. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamshayam samagram, understanding of the absolute truth, Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that. Therefore, the very important point, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotees in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. Text number 2. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami sheshatah yajnanatvaneha bhuyonyach jnanatyam avashishyate. So now Krishna said, hear from me. Now Krishna tells Arjuna, or in other words, Arjuna can ask a question, my dear Lord, what do you wish to tell me? So here Krishna says, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Purport. Please read the purport. Quick.
Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. The Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of Lord and disciplic succession directly from the Lord. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes become known, Vedas, Mundaka Upanishad 1.3 says, Kasmin yu bhagavo vijnanate sarvam idam vijnanatam bhavatiti.
Hare Krishna. So, text number 3. तो ये ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के लिए कौन qualified है? So Lord Shri Krishna is going to speak about the phenomenal and numinous knowledge. Who's qualified to hear? Text number 3 talks about Manushanam sahasreshu kashit yatati siddhi yatadam api siddhanam kashimaveti tattvadaha. There are many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Purport. Now, beautiful purport. Prabhupada talks about different grades of men. There are various grades of men. And out of many thousands, one may be sufficiently interested in transcendental realization to try to know the self. What is his body? What is absolute truth? Generally, mankind is simply engaged in the animal propensities. So among the whole humankind, most of the population is engaged in ahara, nidra, vaya, mathana. Very few among that may be interested in the process of self-realization. That is what Prabhupada is saying. The first 6 chapters of the Gita are meant for those who are interested in transcendental knowledge, for self-realization, understanding the super soul through the process of jnana, dhyana, and discrimination of the self from metta, that is Sankhya. However, Krishna can be known only by persons who are at Krishna consciousness. Other transcendentalists may achieve impersonal Brahman realization, for this is easier than understanding Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Person, but at the same time, he is beyond the knowledge of Brahman and Paramatma. The yogis and jnanis are confused in their attempts to understand Krishna. Next paragraph. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Cause of all causes, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. It is very difficult for the non-devotees to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotion is very easy, they cannot practice it. It is a path of, if the path of bhakti is so easy, then why non-devotees class of men proclaim? Then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy, but when it is practiced factually according to the rules and regulations, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. So Srila Rupa Goswami writes, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Aikanta ki Harer Bhaktir Utpati Va Kalpate. Devotional service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. It is not possible for the Brahman realized impersonalist or the Paramatma realized yogi to understand Krishna as the son of Mother Yashoda or the chariot of Arjuna. Even the great demigods are sometimes confused about Krishna. Muhyanti Surya. Mam tu Vedana Krishna. No one knows me as I am, the Lord says. And if one does know him, then Samahatma so Durlabha. Such a great soul is very rare. Therefore, unless one practices devotion to the Lord, one cannot know Krishna as he is, even though one is a great scholar or philosopher. In essence, who is qualified to understand the subject matter which Krishna is revealing here or is going to further speak? Text number 3 says, Manushyanam sahasreshu. Sahas means among thousands. One man among thousands may endeavor to understand this. Gauranga. Manushyanam sahasreshu kashit yatati siddhi yatatam api siddhanam. So actually verse says, out of many, many thousand men, one may attempt for transcendental perfection. And those who have attained this self-realization to understand I'm not the body but spirit soul, among them, one rarely may know the position of the absolute Lord Shri Krishna. That is a point here. So all of you here, how many of you are here today? 19 and 10 of you here, which means around 30 of you. You are the chosen one amongst the millions and billions of population of this world. 7.2 billion population. So, huh? Achha, 11 on YouTube also. Okay. We want to give full credit to all the participants. So, 45 of you are the chosen one in that sense. Hare Krishna. Okay, don't take me so seriously. I'm joking. No one is chosen up. We are only fallen ones. All right. Text number 4. Is that clear? That's a point here. Okay. Now, Okay. What is not clear? I said, why are you shaking your head? Okay. Text number 4 now. So that's a point. So now Arjuna wonders, I am the chosen one, my dear Lord. But why I am the only chosen one? In other words, Arjuna thinks, my dear Lord, I acknowledge and understand that, and I fully have faith in you that I can know you by hearing. Great. And I am surrendered enough. But what about those people? Those who say, can you show me God? You show me, I'll believe. Krishna says, so be it. I'll show you. Text number 4 to text number 12, Krishna gives a visual presentation of how you can see him everywhere and in everything. Text number 4 and 5 talks about his relationship with Jivatmas and Prakriti. Text number 4 is about Prakriti and 5 is about his relationship with Jivatma. Bhumirapo nalo vayo kammano buddharevacha ankara ityame vinna prakritirashtada. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, force, ego are together. These constitutes my separated material energies. Purport. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of the God and its diverse energies. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord in its different Purusha incarnation. What are the different Purusha incarnation? Vishnustu Trini Rupani. There are 3 Vishnus. Purusha Khyani Atho Viduhu. Ekam tu Mahata Shrashtar. Dvityam tu Anda Samsthitam. एक सृष्टि का निर्माण करते हैं जिसको कहा जाता है कारण दक्ष विष्णु. Second, Dvitam, the second one enters into that creation that is known as Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Trityam Sarvabhutastam Tani Gnatva Vimuchate. And the Trityam and the third incarnation, Sarvabhutastam, is residing in the heart of everyone. Sarvabhutastam, he is present within everyone, which means as Super Soul is present within everyone. That is our क्या कहते हैं आपका Kshirodaksh Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Kshirodaksh Vishnu. All right, this is what is being described here. Next paragraph. This material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. All the activities of the material world are directed by these 3 Vishnu expansions of Lord Shri Krishna. Purusha Avatar. So this is the manifestation of the Lord in relation to execute, maintain, and provide for this creation. So the Lord takes form of Purusha Avatar. I hope this is clear now. And this Purusha Avatar manages this world through his material energy. Prakriti is a subset of Purusha Avatar. Generally, one who does not know the science of God assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment. And the living entities are Purushas, the cause, controllers, enjoyers. According to Bhagavad Gita, this atheistic conclusion is false. In the verse under discussion, it is stated Krishna is the original cause of the material manifestation. Srimad Bhagavatam also confirms this. The ingredients of the material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Even the Brahma Jyoti, which is the ultimate goal of the impersonal, is spiritual energy manifested in the spiritual sky. There are no spiritual diversities in the Brahma Jyoti as there are in the Vaikuntha Lokas, and the impersonalists accept the Brahma Jyoti as the ultimate eternal goal. The Paramatma manifestation is also temporary, all-pervasive aspect of Kshirodaksha Vishnu. The Paramatma manifestation is not eternal in the spiritual world. Therefore, which means there is no super soul residing in the heart of Vaikuntavasis. Therefore, the factual absolute truth is the Supreme Personality Godhead, Krishna. He is a complete energetic person, possesses different separated and internal energies. Now, this subject matter of energy, we have to have a little understanding of science to really appreciate this technical subject which is discussed here. Krishna says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego are my energies. So first of all, you all know according to science, I believe the first law which says energy cannot be destroyed, but energy can be transformed, like that. So this whole creation, and including us, we are nothing but little source of energies. And for this source of energy to function, we draw energies from this creation. And a very simple example is food. Food is one type of energy which is a transformation of nothing but a solar energy. You can say solar energy, water energy, photosynthesize and converts into a food. And that food is nothing but a source of energy which we consumes, gets transformed into another energy which gives us strength to function, right? And that becomes a mental energy with which we can think properly. It becomes a vocal energy by which we are able to speak sound. We are able to move physically. You're getting this. everything is nothing but one energy to another energy transformation is happening. Now, if everything is an energy here, solar energy, lunar energy, kinetic energy, passive energy, everything is energy, then who is the source of this energy? That is what is being discussed here. The fundamental source of the energy, or fundamental source, let me put it this way, the fundamental sources of energy in this creation are earth, from you draw so much energy from it, water, we draw so much energy, fire, air, ether. These are the 5 fundamental sources of energy in this world. Is making sense? Everything in this creation have happened from the construction of your high-rise buildings, to the rockets, to the computers, to your smartphone, to your vehicles, everything. Do you agree? Is nothing but they all have come from, or they all have withdrawn their energy from these things: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Agreed upon it? So here a very big scientific subject is being discussed by Krishna, where Krishna is saying, if this is all energy, we are also energy, then who is that energetic? Now, a partial source of energy cannot be in true sense energetic, right? If I have to be energetic, then I should sustain without food, without water, without air. I should not be depending on other sources of energy to nourish me. Is that making sense? I'm speaking a little more in a science language to give you a little different perspective. All of you are educated people here. So for us to think I am a Purusha. Now, what is the meaning of word Purusha? Purusha is the original source of energy, you can call it. He is the original energetic person, the true energetic person, one source, that Purusha, from which every other sources of energy have manifested. And all the sources of energy are functioning by drawing their source of energy from this Purusha. For example, if there is no sun, if let's say sun gets destroyed tomorrow, now we cannot draw solar energy. If there is no solar energy, then the photosynthesis would not happen. Then the water evaporation would not happen, which means there won't be food, there won't be any rainwater, which means our existence stopped entirely. Yes or no? So from where does the solar energy comes? That person who is a source of all the energies, who is the true energetic, is known as Purusha. So Prabhupada is making a point in the Prabhupada. We are tiny sources of energy. We are also, why we are tiny source of energy? Because we are Atma. The physical body is not a source of energy. Physical body is not a source of energy. Physical body only consumes energy. Physical body only consumes. Therefore, here Krishna has not mentioned body. What Krishna said? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. Now you may say, Prabhuji, body is made of, yes, body is made up of earth, water, fire, ether. Now that body which is made of earth, water, fire, ether is consuming energy. It takes energy from the food, just like our body is nothing but a heap of food. The mind is nothing but a heap of thoughts. That is what I simply, if you put it like that, right? So this is what is an incredible verse. I would say this is a verse of PhD thesis for somebody to really, get into the science of it and actually establish who is the source of all. So now if there are different sources of energy here, who is the energetic? Now, according to science, at one point in time, it was believed sun is the only object in this creation which emits energy. Everything else is a reflector, right? The stars are the reflectors, the planets are the reflectors. Any light in the creation you see is coming from source, a sun. So, which means sun is the energetic. Now, we have all these energies. Even we are energies, Atma. Who is the source? Who is that energetic? The scientists are not able to understand this, or scientists don't ask this question. Therefore, our spiritual seers, if they would have to comment on about the scientists of the modern day, they will call them superstitious because they have blindly believed in some false theories. They don't ask a question. Who is the source of this energy? That discussion. They are only worried about how I can exploit the existing sources of this energy just to enjoy myself. and to falsely claim I am the Purusha, I am the original source of energy, but not. That is what this is. Making sense? So Purusha, Krishna is that original source, and therefore Brahma Jyoti is being also attached by Prabhupada in purport. So that Brahma Jyoti who impersonates, ठीक है, हमने कर्मी की बात कर दी. Impersonation का क्या है? Those impersonators who are aiming for that Brahma Jyoti, that Brahma Jyoti is also not the original source. The Brahma Jyoti is also nothing but the energy of the Lord, which appears as a glaring effulgence. So Ishvara Parama Krishna, Ishvara means original Purusha. Brahmaji says that is Krishna. It is Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna, and that Krishna has manifested himself into various forms like Purusha Avatar, as the shloka mentioned. Purusha Avatar, so that from that Purusha Avatar, all the creation maintenance of this world goes on. And that Purusha Avatar also takes the form of Lord Shiva for the purpose of destruction. That's the point here. All right? Okay. The next paragraph. Now, again, a very beautiful paragraph. So here Prabhupada says, the materialists claim to know a lot, but they know very little. Let's take a look. Okay, let somebody read out the second paragraph. Go ahead.
In the material energy, the principal manifestation are 8 as above mentioned. Out of this, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air and sky, are called the 5 gigantic creations or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more.
That's it. They don't know anything more than this. But the other 3 items, mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the impersonalist or by the materialist. Next.
Philosophers who deal with the mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge, because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am and it is mine, which constitute the basic principle of material existence, include 10 sense organs for material activities.
Okay. Now, there are many people who are studying, those who are psychologists, they're trying to study about the mental functions, isn't it? Even they don't know fully. Why? Because the mind, this whole body, the gross body and the subtle body draws its energy from what? From the soul. When the soul leaves the body cannot function. When the soul leaves the body cannot function. Similarly, the mind, intelligence, false ego cannot interact with this world without having the gross body. Without having the gross body, it cannot. So everything is dependent. But the source of all this, for this body to function around, move around, everything is getting in energy from the Atma. The moment Atma is not there, how much ever food you feed to this body, because food is getting converted into a kinetic energy, which makes us move. How much ever water you feed, how much ever air you breathe, the body cannot move. So who converts that energy? Who makes it in a usable format? That is soul. So the soul is not there, nothing can happen. So, okay, the scientists know something about earth, water, fire, air, ether, they have very little knowledge. They understand about the sense objects, only 10 things they know. They don't know about mind, intelligence, false ego. Okay, let's say they know a little bit of mind, intelligence, but they don't know about the soul. If they don't know about the soul, how can you resolve the whole mystery? So what they know is very superficial thing. That's the reason when you go to an allopathic treatment, more than treating you, they mistreat you. More than fixing you, they destroy you. And repercussions, the reactions people get to know only after some time. And that is what is called as medical advancement that they have. That we're going to break you, but we are so smart that you will not only get to know. That is called as scientific research today. You only get to know about weeks and years together, and then we give it a name of another disease. And then you again come for that disease for us. We further give you medicine. Please think about it. Has any medicine, any cure that the modern science have figured it out, has by any means extended the lifespan? It has only further reduced the lifespan. You may say, no, Prabhu, हमारा lifespan बढ़ गया. आपका lifespan तो बढ़ा हुआ था. वो दवाई खा खा के छोटा हो गया है. और फिर आपको लगता है कि देखिए उनकी वजह से हम जी लिए. क्यों? Because we become dependent. जिसको ब्लड प्रेशर की बीमारी होती है, और ब्लड प्रेशर वाले को लगता है कि तो ब्लड प्रेशर की दवाई नहीं खाऊंगा मैं जीवित नहीं रह सकता. My question to you is why you became like that? What led you to that situation that you have to depend on the blood pressure medicine? And I believe blood pressure, you have to keep on taking medicine all life. And then you say, so we are so advanced, we are so thankful to the medical advancement, etc., because then I'm surviving. No, because that you're constantly, your lifespan is reducing. Medicine means you fix it and you live it. If you're constantly on medicine, which means constantly reducing your lifespan. Anyways, so this is a way of tricking and way of cheating people. And why? Because they don't know exactly how to fix it. They just know superficially. And when those who know superficially and you give the control of your life into their hands, they're going to make a mess out of it. That's the point here. Please go ahead, read ahead. The false ego, I am, and its mind, which constitute the basic principles of mental existence, includes the 10 sense organs for mental activities. Intelligence refers to the total mental creation called Mahatattva. Therefore, from the 8 separate energies of the Lord are manifest 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya, atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energy and are separated from him. But atheistic Sankhya philosophers are with poor funded knowledge, do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of external energy of Krishna as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita, text number 5. Aparyamitastuanya prakritim vidime para jiva bhuta mahabhaho yadam dharate jagat. Besides these two mighty Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind. Again, Krishna is saying energy, which comprise the living entities who are exploiting the sources of this material and finite nature. So we are also sources of energy. Purport. Matter acts due to the spirit. That is what Prabhupada says in the first paragraph. It is clearly mentioned the living entities belong to the superior nature, the inferior nature, which is matter, different elements, earth, water, etc., etc. Both forms of material nature, namely gross and the subtle. Earth, water, fire, ether are said gross because it's perceivable. Mind, intelligence, force are said to be subtle because we cannot see it. Are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting this inferior energy for different purposes are the superior energy of the Lord. And it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic. Therefore, the living entities are always controlled by the Lord, and they have no independent existence. So, Krishna is energetic, and everything else is energy. Therefore, somebody may ask a question. Many times people ask question, if we are put in the material world, if we so much wanted to enjoy our life separate than Krishna, then why did Krishna put restrictions on us as if, creating a modes of material nature, law of karma, etc., etc., right? My dear Lord, you have created this material world for my sake, and that's the reason Shastras glorify you, how kind you are, how compassionate you are, that you have created this world, you have taken so much labor and pain to create this whole gigantic universe for my enjoyment. So why have you bound me under these laws? Set me free. Well, you cannot, because you're not energetic, you're energy, which means you're always bound. You cannot, your existence has no meaning. Are you understanding from the science point of view? Energy does not have any existence without energetic. What is the meaning of sunlight? If the sun is not there, the light is an energy. How can sunlight exist? If somebody says a fire spark is yelling in the burning fire, set me free, set me free. I don't want to be part of this big fire. And somebody says, all right, my dear fire spark, please come out. You exist separately. Can that spark exist separately? It cannot. The moment it comes out, the moment it is disconnected from the fire, it will extinguish. So this is hard facts of life. And we are so much struggling to become against our nature. So when we are struggling so hard to become against our nature, we are just deluding ourselves. We are just cheating ourselves. We are just fooling around. To understand, if we understand this energetic concept, it becomes so simple and straightforward. That we are energy. We are not energetic. So our existence has no meaning without the existence of Krishna. Without him. Therefore, although Krishna is always existing in the spiritual world, but just to facilitate our desires, he has to expand himself in so many forms, just to provide that facility for us to function. Otherwise, he doesn't have to do it. Why he had to take Purusha Avatar? He had taken the Purusha Avatar forms so that our desires can be facilitated because we cannot exist independently. So Lord, who's acting here in this world is not Krishna. Who's acting in this world are the Purusha avatars. For example, we read 5th chapter. Who fulfills your desires? Krishna or Paramatma? Paramatma fulfills the desire. Na? Ultimately, Krishna, we say because Krishna is ultimately. But who fulfills the desire? Paramatma. Paramatma is Purusha avatara, yes or no? Now, when the Lord descends here, Rama, Vamana, Vara avatar, who descends here? It all comes from Shiradaksha Vishnu. Who created, who's maintaining this particular creation? Garbhadaksha Vishnu. Who created this creation? Karnadaksha Vishnu. So who is acting in this creation? Are the Purusha avatars. Krishna is not involved. Krishna has expanded himself into this Purusha avatars and they are running the show. Therefore, you see Krishna just simply playing a flute, which indicates he is not part of this creation. He is not part of this creation. Now, if you have to go out of this creation, you can only go out of his creation through his representative. You cannot latch onto his feet directly, say that, Krishna, you are my only authority. Because Krishna is not part of this creation directly. And Krishna has created a system of Tadviti Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. When this creation is maintained, run and destroyed by his expansions, Purusha Avatara, for this tiny rebellious souls, is Krishna going to be personally present? This may sound a little harsh for you. Or aapne to Krishna hamare jeevan se nikal diya, but that's a fact. Therefore, when you worship, we worship through Guru Parampara. And what is the Guru Parampara? It starts from our Guru, goes to an immediate Guru, and it ultimately goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again, it goes up to Brahmaji. And from Brahmaji comes from which? Garbhadaksha Vishnu. Now it goes up to Krishna. Now you may say, Prabhuji, हमारे को तो यहाँ पे 3-4 फोटो का directly Krishna की फोटो लगा देते हैं. But you understand the principle ना? So Prabhupada जी ने ये क्यों बनाया कि altar पे होना चाहिए ताकि व्यक्ति को दिक्कत समझ आए कि you don't approach Krishna directly. There is no means. There is no possibility. Only in your dream. Of course, Krishna is inconceivable. Everything is possible. When you call out for Krishna, Krishna can appear, no doubt about it. But that is an exception. For Draupadi, Krishna appeared, but Krishna was already here in this world. He was personally involved in that part of Mahabharata Leela. In case of Gajendra, Krishna did not appear. Vishnu had appeared. And that was not from the spiritual world, from part of this creation only. So Krishna did not came. There is no reference of that. Now for Dhruva Maharaj, Krishna had not appeared. Prashni Garva had appeared. Vishnu had appeared. So all those fellows, those who say, I have direct access to God or I can directly worship God, even you cannot access Vishnu directly. Dhruva got access of Vishnu through Narada Muni. Narada Muni blessed. So that's the point here. We should get situated in certain things very comfortably and understand this is the facts of the life. So just like, this whole creation acts through Purusha avatars, similarly our way out of this creation is also through Lord's representatives. It's not directly. It just can never happen. So anyways, I'm in a little bit of mood of explanation. Sorry for that. I've been sleeping very late these nights. So there are so many things going around. It is all coming out of my mouth in front of you. I was supposed to read. I got into this thought process because somebody I had been trying to resolve somebody's life situation. It's becoming a very difficult case. It's a little mental case. So it went on until very late in the night. And the whole communication ended with saying that my authority is no one, by my authority is Krishna. So I slept with that thought, ye kya hai? The individual have not understood. And I'm talking about somebody who has been practicing for more than 10 years now. Because you have not understood the basic fundamentals. And these 7.4, therefore I never represent science here. But I am not quoting philosophy today here. I thought अगर आपको साइंस समझ आती तो साइंस से तो देखो. You're all science students. What science says? Therefore, I'm giving a scientific reason. I have not spoken like this in Bhakti Shastri. Bhakti Shastri, I'll directly go with the philosophical point. So this is, if you see from the point of view of science, this is what it is. This is a fact. This is so simple. So this whole idea of approaching the act doesn't work out. All right. So I guess it's a little over time today here. I'll just conclude this paragraph here with, what was the thing? I don't know, where was I reading? Okay, we'll read it tomorrow. We'll further elaborate on this. This is a very, very beautiful subject matter. Unfortunately, people are so much kind of cheated out, not understanding who they are, what is their role in this whole creation, and what they should be doing. All right, so we'll pause here. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki. Question we can take separately. That's okay. Everyone would have to go. It's time for office. All right. So thank you, and shall see you tomorrow morning. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.